Hi, this is Rich Lavens of Eurotherm by Watlow, and was asked recently about the Eurotherm Itools option called ViewBuilder. ViewBuilder is, as I said, it's an option that allows you to create some custom HMI type screens, a little bit like a SCADA program. So here's how you do it. So in the background, I already have a Nanodac and an EPAC connected through iTools, so those are live. I'm going to come up here and look at the folders. So under iTools, there is something called ViewBuilder. So with the ViewBuilder, you're going to see it there likely no matter what, but since it's a paid option, you can only do limited amount of configuration. With the free version, you certainly cannot connect to any instruments, so obviously I have the full version. So I've already been playing around with this a little bit, so this is the build I'm working on. So little template I created here probably took me after I learned a little bit and had a little bit of learning curve. Now I can probably do this in 20-30 minutes. So first thing is any text that you see, quick set points, EPAC enable, obviously my view, recipe manager, all these little labels, those are all created up here under the components using the label button. So it's not a drop and drag. You click on what you want. So in this case, I clicked a label. Come over here. I can expand that up. If you double click in the box, really nothing happens. So you have to come back over to the left-hand side, and you have properties, which are the properties of whatever you have selected. And I'll get to the OPC in a minute. So here, this is just called label 13. If I want to change the label, we could just use test box. When you have to hit enter, which I did not do, so we'll try that again. Test box, enter. So I entered test. You can see there. So now, again, I can go in, I can choose the color that I want. So if I want lime green or olive or navy, I can do that. Under the font, I can kind of choose my font. I can use bold, I can check the size, and again, I can change the color. So again, we'll kind of mess around with that. When you hit enter, you'll see it appears there. So what I do not want to do is have too much stuff here. So again, I have had a little bit of experience with the delete button. You can use it on your keyboard, but I find that if you click on the box you want, it's easier to right click and hit delete. So that's how I created my text. Up here, this is a value. So I used a value button. Again, click in there. So there's a value button. This allows you to put a preset value into a button. So again, I've already got a couple created, so I'm going to delete this and show you how I did it. So here's one called set point to 110. So I can quickly change the set points on my Nanodac to 100 and 110 very quickly. So up here, that's what I want to call my button. Down here is the value I want to load, so 110. If I go to the other button, there's my label, and there's the value I want to load. And again, you can go in with the font and all that, same stuff. So anyway, here's where the OPC button comes in. So yeah, I want to load 110, but what do I need to load that to? So I go into OPC. I have to find my Nanodac, which is there. Under the loop screen, loop number 1, there's my set point. Make this a hair bigger so we can all see it. So what I would do is grab set point 1, drag that up into whatever box. So now when I hit This button, it loads 110 degrees into set point 1. I created a second box, and I would do exactly the same thing. Drag that up there, which I'm not doing because I've already done it. So now I hit this button, my set point goes to 110. I hit this button, it goes to 100. Over here, I used a different thing. So this is called the drop down. So again, I drug one of these in here. Sorry. So there's a drop down, and again, there's a drop down menu. I'm going to delete that and show you what I did here. So again, this SP, that's just a label. Here's my box. And if I go to my properties, again, I can do the font. I can call it whatever I want. So this one, under the OPC, again, I'm writing to the same thing. So there's set point 1. The only difference is here, I'll show you when I go live, I can actually type a number in here. So if I don't want 110 or 100, I want 85, I can just type a number in there, and then the set point will go to whatever number I typed. Over here, there's an auto tune. So that obviously is the same thing. So just a label. Over here, another drop down. I really like the drop down menus so far. When I go to my OPC, how do I know what I've done? Well, down here at the bottom, it tells you how I wired it. So right now, I wired that into my tune. Oh, my bad. Here's the auto manual, so forth. But in here is my auto tune, and I dropped the auto tune into that box. Some of these other ones are going to my EPAC, so I can look at my output percentage, my line frequency, my incoming line voltage. I can acknowledge alarms. And then up here, I used a checkbox. I could have also used a radio button. Either way, worked the same. So I'm going to hit the checkbox, and there's my checkbox. Again, we'll delete that. So the checkbox, when I click here, my properties are really, it's a binary. It's clicked or it's not clicked. So what I want to do, in this case, my EPAC, if I go back to my, one of my function blocks here. So this is the user value. Basically, it enables the firing output to the EPAC or not. If I write a 1 to it, I fire. If I write a 0, I don't fire. So coming back up to that checkbox on the OPC, what I've done there is I've written a 1 or a 0, a checkbox, to that user value. And then up here, I can do the same thing. I can write it. So this is more of a confirmation block. If I'm a 0 or 1, it's just going to show up here. And then over here, I did a recipe manager. So again, there's the same drop down. I can select a recipe, a ramp soak program recipe from here. So how I did that was in this box, going back to the NanoDAC and the programmer block, under the setup, here's my program number. So I just dropped that in there. On this particular NanoDAC, I have 3 programs. So I can write a 1, a 2, or a 3 to that NanoDAC, and it will change the program I'm about to run. And then finally, I've got an image of a small furnace here. So here's another dialog box I have in here. You can see the process value, and I'm reading that from the NanoDAC on another dropdown. So if I click here, it says I'm looking at the loop 1 main PV. This is called an image. So I'll do an image. There's my image. So again, go to my properties. And we can call it whatever we want, image 1, 2, 3. But the picture itself is loaded here. So you have picture and you have these 3 arrows. Click on that. You have to know where your picture's at on your PC. So I want to go to load that. Again, all the pictures I have. So this is the one I'm using. And then I can open it and it loads that picture. I'm not going to do it here because I've obviously already got it on the screen. So again, we'll delete that to avoid confusion. So up here is our save button, which I've already done. So now I can run it from here. So what the operator sees is this. So again, when I hit checkbox, you can see my binary went to 0, and looking at my EPAC, I have confirmed the EPAC is now disabled. So I will energize my EPAC. It just went active. Up here, my set point is currently 115 degrees. If I hit set point to 110, my nanodeck does change to 110. If I hit 100, my nanodeck does go to 100. And over here, again, before, those are pre-assigned buttons up here, but if I want to change it to 75 degrees, I can hit that, enter, and you'll see my process value down here is going to start to drop because it's trying to get to 75. My output percentage has went to 0. My line frequency and voltage don't change. If I had any alarms set up, I could acknowledge them by using yes or no. Yeah, I don't have anything set up there, but you'll see. I could initiate an auto tune here if I wanted to. Again, don't want to do that. And then my amperage isn't reading correctly because I've got such a small heater in there that it's really not registering. Up here, right now I'm reading, confirm here, recipe 1. If I click here and just simply type in a 2 and enter, my recipe has indeed went to recipe 2. And then obviously I could tie another one in here for run or hold or reset. So again, pretty simplistic little HMI to run on your PC that would give you some interface capabilities to our instruments. Anyway, I hope this is helpful, but let us know what you think and contact us with any questions. Thank you.